Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll be right back with this week's guest, but as always, we're going to give a shout out to our sponsors. If you're new to the show or if you're a longtime listener, remember these are all companies that I used as an athletic director at our schools, and they're all great companies. You should be using them too. So take 3 minutes, listen to our shout outs, then listen to our Wednesday Wisdom guest, and then go and visit these sponsors. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did. Here we go. We want to say thanks to Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record board or your school's Hall of Fame, go to their website and check out the interactive touchscreen video consoles. You put one of their units in your gym lobby or your main school hallway, it's going to be a magnet for kids, for coaches, for sponsors. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. That's vitalsignswalloffame.com. We also want to say thanks to our friends at Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years. As an AD, I made sure our school was a Huddle school. And our coaches, our student athletes, even our parents just loved the tools that Huddle provided. Join the 8 million users. Go to huddle.com. Turn your school into a Huddle school. We also want to say thanks to Home Campus. Home Campus is the official high school sports administration platform for multiple states for thousands of athletic directors. And even if your state has a different platform, you can be a home campus school. I'm telling you, the athletic eligibility and clearance platform alone is a game changer. Go to homecampus.com. Don't forget to mention the podcast. That's homecampus.com. We also want to say thanks to Snap Raise. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and been disappointed in the results? Well, those days are gone. Go to snapraise.com. We used it at our school with great success, and so will you. That's snapraise.com. Check it out today. We also want to say thank you to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com. Let their team turn you into a social media marketing expert. Whether it's a small post to celebrate a victory or an entire newsletter to showcase all the great things your department's doing, the team at Gipper will have you up and running in no time. It's professional graphic design made easy. That's Gipper.com. We also want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo to see their products in action. You've heard me say before, it's probably the best purchase I ever made as an athletic director. Go to sidelineinteractive.com so you can see all the great things that they can do for you. We'd also like to thank Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. My assistant athletic director, along with thousands of others, got his master's through the Ohio program, and it was a great experience. And while he was doing it, he also completed 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. Check out Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. We'd like to say thank you to Hometown. Hometown's changing the game for schools and organizations with their suite of solutions that includes things like digital ticketing, big surprise. How about fee-free fundraising, athletic website construction, and a whole lot more. Go to hometown.com. They're going to help you save time, raise more money, and bring your community together. That's hometown.com. And we want to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. My school used surveys for just about everything, for kids, for coaches, for teachers, also for parents. And the information that would come back was almost always over the top positive, and it'll be the same for you. You still get to hear from those parents you already hear from, but you can address their concerns before they turn into something big. But having all of that positive data was incredibly valuable, especially if you had to meet with your principal or sometimes even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. That's athleticsurveys.com. And don't forget to mention the podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. Longtime listeners are going to recognize the name Dr. Cara Cocchiarella. If you're new to the podcast, Cara has an incredible background as an athlete, as an instructor, as a high school AD. Now she's wearing a lot of hats. She's the department chair at Clark College. That's in Vancouver, Washington. I'm a proud graduate of Clark College, got my associates from there. She's also the founder of an organization called Win Win Consulting, also a very successful author. Her book was Winning Well. You can find it on Amazon. She is also the education chair for the United States Center for Coaching Excellence. We're going to hear about some of that and a lot more. But Cara Cocchiarella, welcome back to Wednesday Wisdom.
Thank you, Jake. Happy to be here.
Uh, Well, for our listeners, we're recording this in July. It's the middle of summer. Hopefully, you're having a great vacation and planning on getting back to school. I know you're listening to this as school is getting ready to start. But, Cara, I'm going to get out of the way. What do you have for our listeners on this segment of Wednesday Wisdom?
Yeah, thank you. I think well, and it's always great to talk to you, Jake. So I'm excited to share this and have a little bit of a conversation here with you. Um, as you mentioned, I am the education chair for the United States Center for Coaching Excellence. At times, I've been a member of the organization, at times a board member. I've had a few different roles, and I actually just got home from a training that I helped facilitate with the USCCE, and was thinking, man, this is a resource that would be really cool and could be super helpful to share with athletic directors who are not aware that we exist or don't necessarily know what we offer. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to everyone about today. And some of the pieces I think will apply more directly to certain pieces of the role or certain work that ADs do, and it, as you know, an AD's job just varies like crazy, the things you do from one moment to the next or one day to the next. So um I just want to share a little bit more about the USCCE and maybe even particularly the workshop that we just ran. We ran a workshop for USTA, so the tennis association down in Florida. And I mean, where do we start, Jake? I see you have a question. I'm ready.
No, you took that pause there, and I'm going, well, geez, I'm going to jump in here. Now, you're absolutely right. You and I were talking before we started recording, and the Center for Coaching Excellence, it's a tremendous resource, but as you literally said, I don't know if it's that well known in, let's say, different pockets of the country. So maybe share just some broad brushstrokes, what it is. And then you've been an athletic director before. Why is it important for our listeners who are, again, athletic directors? Why should they get involved? Why should they reach out and find out more?
Yeah, absolutely. Great questions. And admittedly, I wasn't aware of the USCCE until I started doing a little Google search. At one point, I was looking for some support for the work that I do in coach development. So I was looking to hopefully go to some sort of a workshop or get connected with a group that really specializes in coach education in this country. And what's interesting is coach education, coach development globally is evolving at a very rapid pace. And the US, we had a little bit of catching up to do. And so it's been really fun to be a part of the organization, to see the evolution just in the short time that I've been involved. But really what the USCCE is it's a member-driven organization. So we've got a community of people who are really bringing educational concepts and principles into the sports learning space. So our goal is to both support the development of coaching skills, but more importantly, to support the development of like solid coach development systems and coach education. We're a coach education, coach development organization, not just a coaching organization. And so you could see where athletic directors, dependent upon their role and their priorities and the different things that they do in their day to day, there may be some really cool places where the USCCE could support the work of athletic directors. And so I think so about 8 years ago, I was down in your neck of the woods, Jake, and I attended this workshop that was put on by the USCCE. It's called the Teaching and Learning Facilitation Workshop. And I've been involved in the organization ever since. I went and in the about the first 10 minutes, I was so excited. I was like, yes, this is what I do. This is what I want to do. I want to support coaches in terms of their education. I want to help facilitate their learning. And I know, like you mentioned, as having been an AD in the past myself, I know that there's a lot of management that happens day to day. There are a lot of other things that we do, but we do have those moments, whether it's just in short interactions with coaches here and there, observing practices, helping coaches to reflect, whatever type of evaluation or support cycle we kind of go through with our coaches. Those are all really good opportunities for us to help coaches build their coaching skills. And then also thinking in relation to this workshop that I attended 8 years ago and one that we actually just ran this past weekend. Thinking about the moments when athletic directors might bring a group of coaches in, let's say, I think a lot of people do like an orientation or an educational meeting with their coaches like each season. That's one that I hear a lot of ADs currently talking about, these kind of more formal meetings. A lot of the work and a lot of the material, resources, ideas, and training opportunities that the USCCE provides could be really helpful in those moments as well. So just kind of thinking of that coach educator role of the AD. And like I said, I know for some folks that may be a big part of their work. For others, it tends to be a pretty small piece because they have so many other things on their plate. So that's what I'm thinking.
Again, we always talk about the importance in the world of athletic directing, but also coaches and other professions. We talk about the importance of networking and building connections, along with this crazy idea of being a lifelong learner. And it sounds like the U.S. Center for Coaching Excellence checks both of those boxes and then some, as far as providing those networking opportunities for ADs, many times who also are coaching, as you know, and then also the coursework that you provide in a variety of areas. Now, I know that you are actually working on revising a current course. Can you share with our listeners a little bit about that particular course and how it might be helpful for them?
Absolutely. Yeah. And then you hit on a really important piece that I want us to talk about in relation to these USCCE workshops and the other resources we offer. But yeah, I'm currently wrapping up recording, literally like as when I get off of this call with you, Jake, wrapping up recording for an online course that I have created in association with the book that I co-authored. So, as you mentioned in my introduction, Winning Well, Maximizing Coach and Athlete Wellness is the book that I wrote with a colleague, and I'm currently in the process of finishing up an online course that's associated with that book to help coaches take care of their wellness, and to help them take care of athlete wellness as well. But really, the concepts are centered around the coach taking care of themselves, so that they can make their work more sustainable, so they can stay in their jobs longer, so they can be thriving as both coaches and as people. I'm a health educator, have been my entire career, and so this is an area of really great passion for me. And I actually think maybe in a future Wednesday Wisdom segment, I'll tell you even more about the course, but really excited to get it out there and to help support coaches with their wellness. We've got one school signed up to be a pilot program already, working with a pretty big organization to hopefully get the course into and available to their coaches as well. So I'm excited to see this thing take off a little bit and to support coaches. I just we see them, I work with them all the time, and I look at how hard they're working, and I want to be somebody who helps support them in the work that we're doing. And I know as a health educator, if we can help them support their wellness, they'll be better at their work. So excited to get that out there.
Now, you also, alongside all the things that you do, you also work as a consultant with individuals, with schools. You're a speaker. If one of our listeners wanted to reach out and find out not just more about the United States Center for Coaching Excellence, but more about Dr. Cara Cocchiarella, winning well, how do they do that? How can they connect with you and add you to their network?
Yeah, the best way to do it is just through my website, win-consulting.com. So can the listeners could go there, check out what I do, check out the book. I'll have information about the course there as well. I believe I have links to the USCCE and would love to hear from them via email as well. So yeah, anytime, any way that I can help. And yeah. And I do have a little bit more to tell you about the USCCE, Jake, that could be helpful for ADs.
No, I didn't imply that. I didn't want to imply that we were done. What else do you have for our listeners?
Well, thank you. Yeah, so would love to hear from folks. Win-consulting.com is the best place to track me down. Um, yeah, so in thinking about this bigger organization that I'm a part of, like I said, it's a member-driven nonprofit dedicated to improving coach development across all levels and all sports. Um, and there we provide all sorts of different things for coach educators, coach developers. We have some resources on a website. On the website, there's a journal, a coach development journal that will be available. We do what we call engagement events, which are often kind of like online webinars or little like mini workshops. We offer accreditation and recognition to coach development and coach education programs. Um, and that's not something that necessarily applies directly to ADs, but a couple other things where coaches can really get involved. We have a coach developer academy. And within that academy, we offer some online and in-person workshops. And the next we'll have a couple online workshops in September and October that will be open on the website. And by the time this airs, they should be open by then. And we also have an in-person workshop running in Lexington, Kentucky, November 10th to the 12th. And registration for that is open now. That is the workshop that I attended back 8 years ago in Orlando, the teaching and learning facilitation workshop. And that's a great workshop for talking about those moments when ADs have a group of coaches in kind of like a classroom space or potentially on the field or on the court as well, but working in kind of that more formal workshop um, aspect of the AD role. So in that workshop, we get to talk about a lot of fun things. Just to start out with, what like looking into what is coach development, how has it changed and evolved over time and why, and from there we spend some time talking about what is learning and how coaches are, or adults really, how adults learn in different situations, because we know coaches learn in like formal spaces, in more informal spaces like little mini workshops or clinics, And then they learn a lot on their own in these unmediated situations. So it's really about taking everything that we know about how adults learn, applying those concepts, those educational concepts to the work that we do with coaches so that we can help them to continue to learn and grow throughout their careers. And it's really a workshop that would help athletic directors with, like I said, those more kind of formal moments where they have folks in a room or in a space together, and opposed to just talking at them with PowerPoint slides, doing some polling of information, getting the coaches actually involved, applying active learning strategies to helping them advance their coaching, and practicing with some different reflective practices or techniques. It's really those classroom workshop skills, but how to facilitate learning for coaches around how to coach, not necessarily about specific sports skills, but ways to do that in which we are really deeply engaging the coaches and their brains and helping them to grow authentically as opposed to just dumping a bunch of information at them. So those are some of the things that as the USCCE we tend to work with coach developers on. And like I said, that workshop's a fun one. It's when you brought up networking, I kind of lit up because one of the best things about these workshops is that we're bringing in coach educators from all over the place, all over the country. We tend to bring in some international folks as well, but people who work as consultants, people who work as in national governing bodies as coach education directors and deliverers, folks from academia, so people who work in schools that have maybe like a coaching minor, and then again, some people in spaces like high schools, colleges, that are in these athletic director roles or that have a little bit more of an educational space that they get to be in, even if it's not all the time. And the conversations that people can have across disciplines and across roles are so powerful. And those connections that they make are really, really incredible, really cool. I'm still very well connected with a lot of the people that I worked with 8 years ago in that workshop. And we have totally different jobs, but the conversation around coach education and coach development can be really rich, especially when we bring in all those perspectives. And we're just starting. I think this is the tip of the iceberg that we're seeing with athletic directors. I think we're about to see quite a bit more involvement with athletic directors within our organization. So that's a lot. I just threw a lot at you, Jake, but this is where I wanted to go. I think it's a really important resource for athletic directors to be aware of.
No, no, you're absolutely right. And I've said this many times that athletic directors, I think one of the things that they love to do is provide professional development materials to their coaching staff. But it's one of the things that sometimes they don't get to do because of lack of time or lack of funding. I don't want to say typical, but some ADs, they're teaching full time, they're coaching three sports, and their principal only gives them one period at the end of the day to be the athletic director. And so this type of
Yeah.
resource, we've already talked about it, but it bears repeating. It does provide those materials to an athletic director they can take back to their school, work with their coaches, and as you said, also you've got that networking opportunity. So great, great stuff. Now,
Yeah.
again, you mentioned the course is coming up in I think Lexington in November, so there's
Mhm.
still plenty of time to register. Where would our listeners go to sign up or to just find out more information?
Yeah. Well, and we have that workshop coming up in November in Lexington. That's that in-person workshop. It's an intense 2.5 days and really, really fun, powerful learning that happens there. And then we'll also have a summit, which is kind of our annual conference. That one, we were switching the timeline on it a little bit from what we've done in the past. So we'll actually have that in early September of 2026. So more than a year from now. but in New England. And that I think will be a really fun event as well for folks to look for. In terms of things that we just know for sure that are coming up, we will have more in person in the meantime, a lot of online opportunities, a lot of resources available, and all of that can be found on the USCCE's website at uscoachexcellence.org. So that's where anybody can go to find more information. Most of it, a lot of the information is open to just anybody. Some of it is protected. Have to be a member to get into some of the things that we do, but really our we really are very truly committed to the mission and vision of the organization in improving coach development systems across the country. And so yeah, trying to just provide what we can for people in this space when they want to do their coach education. So, yeah,
Thanks again for giving out that information for the United States Center for Coaching Excellence and their programs. And again, listeners, sign up, become a member, get that protected members only stuff. And Cara, once more, can you please give out your contact information again for our listeners? That's Dr. Cara Cocchiarella. She's at Clark College in Vancouver. Win Consulting. The book Winning Well on Amazon. But if they want more, how do they get in touch with you, Cara?
just go into the website, win-consulting.com. So I would love to chat. I love helping athletic directors, so would be very excited to have conversations with anybody out there.
All right. Well, again, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Again, for our listeners, I'm in Florida, Kara's in Washington. Uh, I'm coming back to the Northwest where I'm from for a reunion. She's going back to Montana. We're trying to connect with each other, but make sure you connect at least virtually with Dr. Cara Cocchiarella. Cara, always a pleasure to spend time with you. Hopefully, we can make our travel plans work, but all the best for a great summer and continuing success this fall.
Thanks, Jake. Yep, hoping to see you here in the Pacific Northwest soon, and it's always fun chatting with you. So appreciate it, and looking forward to the next time.
Right back at you. For our listeners, we appreciate you. And just a reminder, we upload the Zoom recordings of all of our interviews to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We do this segment just about every week, and just about every day. We try to share stories and best practices from the world of athletics. So please come back and join us again on the next episode of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. Hey, always a great chat with Cara Cocchiarella. Before we go, it's great if you would reach out and connect with these sponsors. Remember, I used every single one of these sponsors. They're all great. You should be using them too. We want to say thanks to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com. Vital Signs Wall of Fame. You'll find them at vitalsignswalloffame.com. SnapRaise, snapraise.com. Go to Huddle.com. Turn your school into a huddle school. Athleticsurveys.com. Survey your kids, your coaches, and your parents. You're going to be glad you did. SidelineInteractive.com. You've heard me say before, probably the best purchase I ever made. Home Campus. It's a platform you're going to use every single day. Go to homecampus.com. Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. And finally, Hometown. Go to hometown.com for more information. Thanks again for listening. This is the Educational AD Podcast, and you just listened to Wednesday Wisdom.